Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most talked about moments in British morning television history. Picture this, it's a crisp autumn morning in London, the kind where the fog clings to the Thames like a reluctant lover, and the ITV studios are buzzing with the usual pre-show frenzy. Lorraine Kelly, the undisputed queen of daytime chat with her infectious Scottish lilt and that perpetual twinkle in her eye, is gearing up for another episode of her eponymous show. She's been at this for decades, charming celebrities from Hollywood A-listers to royal insiders, all while dishing out advice on everything from fashion faux pas to family feuds. But today, October 25, 2025, the air feels different, charged, almost electric, as if the universe itself is holding its breath. The guest of honor, none other than Sean Bean, the gravel-voiced Yorkshire legend whose face is as familiar as your own reflection in a pint glass. Sean, with his rugged good looks scarred from too many on-screen demises, strides into the studio exuding that effortless charisma that's made him a staple in epics like Game of Thrones and The Lord of the Rings. At 66, he's no stranger to controversy after all. He's been beheaded, burned, and betrayed more times than most men have had hot dinners, but nothing could prepare him, or us, for what's about to unfold. The segment kicks off innocently enough, with Lorraine beaming as she welcomes him to the plush sofa, the audience applauding warmly under the bright studio lights. Cameras roll, the theme music fades, and we're off to the races. Sean, promoting his latest gritty drama series about a retired spy entangled in Cold War remnants, settles in with a mug of tea, a proper Yorkshire brew, no doubt while Lorraine dives into the pleasantries. She gushes over his career, from his breakout role in Sharp to his poignant turn in Legends of the Fall, and Sean, ever the gentleman, deflects with humble anecdotes about his early days welding ship hulls in Sheffield before stumbling into acting. It's all going swimmingly, the kind of fluff that keeps viewers glued to their cornflakes. But then, as the clock ticks toward the ad break, Lorraine steers the conversation toward Sean's infamous death curse. You know the only how every role he takes seems to end with him shuffling off this mortal coil in increasingly creative ways. It's a light-hearted jab, or so she thinks, her eyes sparkling with mischief as she quips, "Sean, darling, you've died more times than I've had holidays. Tell us, does it ever get old?" The audience chuckles, expecting a witty retort, but Sean's smile tightens just a fraction, his blue eyes narrowing ever so slightly. He's heard this gag 1,000 times, from red carpets to pub trivia nights, and while he's leaned into it with self-deprecating humor, today it lands differently. Perhaps it's the jet lag from a transatlantic flight, or the lingering sting from a recent tabloid piece questioning his relevance in the streaming age, but something in him snaps, not violently, mind you. Sean's no hothead, but with the quiet intensity of a man who's stared down orcs and White Walkers. He sets down his tea, leans forward, and replies, "Lorraine, love, I've lost count of the times folks have buried me on screen, but let me tell you, it's not half as exhausting as digging yourself out of the grave every time Hollywood needs a sacrificial lamb." The studio falls into a hush, the laughter dying like embers in a dying fire. Lorraine, quick as a whip, tries to pivot, her cheeks flushing under the makeup, but Sean presses on, his voice gaining that rich, rumbling timbre that commands silence. He launches into a passionate defense, not just of his roles, but of the trope itself, of how it's become a lazy shorthand for drama, reducing complex characters to plot devices. "I'm not just the bloke who gets the chop," he says, his hands gesturing emphatically. "I am the heart of those stories, the one who makes you care before the blade falls." The audience is riveted, some nodding in agreement, others exchanging wide-eyed glances. Lorraine interjects, attempting to keep it breezy. "Oh, Sean, you're far too modest. You're immortal in our hearts." But her words come out strained, the chemistry fizzling like a dud firework. What starts as banter edges into debate, with Sean challenging the industry's obsession with shock value over substance, drawing parallels to his own life battle from 4 divorces to battles with alcohol that have left scars deeper than any propped sword. Lorraine, defending her turf, counters that it's all in good fun, a nod to his enduring popularity, but Sean sees red, accusing her of trivializing an art form he's poured his soul into. The tension builds like a storm cloud over the moors, the floor manager hovering nervously off-camera, whispering into his headset. Viewers at home, sipping their morning coffee, sense the shift too. The chat has turned from cozy to confrontational, the sofa feeling smaller by the second. Sean's face, weathered by years of Yorkshire winds and Tinseltown trials, hardens as he recounts a particularly grueling shoot on the set of Black Death, where he nearly lost a finger to a malfunctioning medieval trap. Fun? Try filming your own entrails spilling out at dawn in the pouring rain, he retorts, his accent thickening with emotion. Lorraine, ever the professional, tries one last Hail Mary, laughing it off with, "Well, at least you always come back stronger, like a phoenix." But the phoenix in Sean has had enough. He rises abruptly, his chair scraping against the polished floor like a gauntlet thrown. "I've come back too many times, Lorraine, and I'm tired of it being the punchline," he declares, his voice echoing in the stunned silence. With that, he extends a hand in a gesture that's half apology, half adieu, and strides off the set, leaving a trail of bewildered crew and a host grasping for words. The cameras cut hastily to commercial, but not before capturing the raw shock on Lorraine's face. Her empire of empathy cracked, if only for a moment. As the break hits, whispers ripple through the green room. Has the unbreakable Sean Penn finally met his match in morning TV's Iron Lady? And what does this mean for the delicate dance between celebrity and scrutiny? Back from the ads, Lorraine recovers with her trademark resilience, spinning the walk-off into a passionate discussion and teasing Sean's return someday. But the damage is done. Social media erupts like Vesuvius. Hashtags like #SeanBen vs Lorraine and #DeathCurse drama trending within minutes. Fans rally to Sean's side, flooding timelines with clips of his most memorable demises, while critics decry the overreaction, calling it a publicity stunt gone awry. But for those who tuned in live, it was no stunt, it was a seismic shift, a reminder that even icons have breaking points. As the show wraps, Lorraine signs off with a wry smile, but her eyes betray the sting. Sean, meanwhile, is already en route to his hotel, phone buzzing with messages from agents and mates alike. This clash isn't just tabloid fodder, it's a window into the human behind the headlines, the actor wary of his own legend. And as we delve deeper, we'll uncover the layers of the personal histories, the unspoken grievances that turned a simple sofa chat into a showdown for the ages. Stay with us, because this story is just beginning to unfold, with twists as labyrinthine as any Tolkien tale Sean has graced. The fallout, oh, it's only getting started, with interviews pending, apologies unspoken, and a nation glued to every whisper. What drove Sean to that edge? Was it the cumulative weight of typecasting, or something more intimate, like a fresh wound from his latest script rejection? Lorraine, for her part, has built a career on candor, but candor cuts both ways, and today it drew blood. In the annals of TV mishaps, this ranks alongside the greats of from Ann Robinson's barbed barbs on the weakest link to Jeremy Paxman's grilling of politicians. But this one feels personal, raw, unscripted in a world of polished pretense. As we peel back the curtain, prepare to be astonished at how one quip unraveled into infamy, leaving two titans forever altered. And remember, in the Game of Thrones, be they small screen or silvery, you win or you walk off, but you never forget the blade that nicked you. Now, let's rewind the tape, shall we? To truly grasp the magnitude of this meltdown, we must journey back to the roots of these two formidable figures, whose paths converged in a collision as inevitable as winter following summer. Lorraine Kelly, born in 1959 in Scotland's rugged Highlands, rose from the ashes of a modest upbringing to become daytime TV's benevolent dictator. Daughter of a schoolteacher father and a homemaker mother, young Lorraine dreamed of journalism, scribbling stories in exercise books while the wind howled off Loch Ness. By 18, she was a reporter for the local paper, her keen eye and warmer heart propelling her to BBC Scotland, where she covered everything from Highland Games to heartbreaking disasters. But it was her pivot to television in the 80s that sealed her stardom. GMTV, then Daybreak, and finally her solo throne on Lorraine since 2010. She's interviewed presidents and princesses, survived wardrobe malfunctions and viral gaffes, all with that disarming blend of wit and warmth that makes viewers feel like old pals. Yet, beneath the glossy facade, Lorraine's no stranger to scrutiny. She's weathered accusations of nepotism, her production company's ITV ties, ageism jabs in a youth-obsessed industry, and even a breast cancer scare in 2018 that she turned into a crusade for awareness. Her style? Relentlessly positive, but with a cheeky undercurrent. To think Graham Norton with a kilt. She's the one who'll tease a guest about their dodgy haircut one minute and hug them through a tearful confession the next. It's this razor-sharp balance that has kept her relevant for 40 years, raking in BAFTAs and viewer loyalty alike. Enter Sean Bean. Born Sean Mark Bean in 1959, coincidentally the same year as Lorraine in the smoky steel town of Sheffield, where the clang of forges was his lullaby. Son of a welder dad and secretary mum, Sean was a scrappy lad, dropping out of school at 16 to hawk cheese in supermarkets and shovel snow for pennies. Acting found him by accident during a welding course at Rotherham College of Arts and Technology. A drama elective sparked something primal, and soon he was treading the boards in local theaters, his baritone voice and brooding intensity turning heads. Rada followed, then telly-triumphs. Kenneth Branagh plucked him for Romeo and Juliet in 1989, but it was sharp in the 90s that made him a household name, sword in hand and accent thick as treacle. Hollywood beckoned with GoldenEye and Equilibrium, but Sean's heart stayed in period pieces: A Patriot Games, Troy, and of course, Baramir's noble fall in The Fellowship of the Ring. But the deaths, 24 on-screen expirations by last count, from arrows in the chest to plunges off cliffs, earning him the moniker the king of crossover casualties. He's joked about it, even narrated a charity video tallying them up, but privately, it's a millstone. Typecast as the honorable doomed soul, Sean has railed against it in interviews, lamenting lost chances at romantic leads or villains with longevity. Off-screen, life's no easier. 4 marriages, to Deborah James, Melanie Hill, Georgina Sutcliffe, and Ma Yes Fair, kids scattered across continents, and battles with booze that saw him miss flights and flub lines. A 2019 car crash left him with whiplash and a vow to slow down. But at 66, he's leaner, wiser, channeling that survivor grit into roles like the haunted vet in Accused or the sly patriarch in Henry VIII miniseries. Their worlds orbited for years. Lorraine interviewing Sean sporadically since the 90s, always cordial, always clipped. A 2004 chat on his Lord of the Rings press tour was all laughs. A 2015 spot for The Oath was deeper, touching on his divorces, but tensions simmered sub rosa. Sean, a proud northerner, has griped about posh media elites dismissing regional talent, while Lorraine, despite her Scottish roots, embodies the polished London bubble he chafes against. Insiders whisper of a 2020 Green Room snub when Sean skipped her after-show drinks, citing fatigue but really irked by a last-minute script change that axed a personal story. Fast forward to 2025, Sean's riding high on Shadows of Espionage, a BBC, Netflix co-prod where he plays a ex-MI6 operative unearthing family secrets. Ironic, given his own tangled kin. Promotions grueling, red-eye from LA, voice hoarse from accents, soul-weary from pitches that inevitably veer to Remember When Ned Stark. Lorraine, meanwhile, is fresh off a ratings slump, her show dipping amid streaming wars and a viral clip of her bungled bake-off segment. Desperate for buzz, producers book Sean, prepping Lorraine with zingers on his death toll to keep it fun. She agrees, unaware it's poking a bear mid-hibernation. Rehearsals find Sean rise early, charming the makeup team with tales of welding scars mistaken for sword wounds. But live TV's a beast. As the intro rolls, Sean's mind drifts to a fresh slight. A Guardian review that morning calling his new role another bon lit and left to smolder. Lorraine's opening gambit lands soft, but when she circles back post-commercial to the death quip, it's with a prop. A mock gravestone-etched "Here lies Sean Bean." Again, the audience roars, but Sean's chuckle is hollow, his jaw set like flint. Lorraine, that's clever, but it's been my epitaph since '92. Fancy a change? She doubles down. Come on, it's your superpower. And that's the spark. Sean unloads, not yelling but eviscerating. dissecting how the trope mocks actors of his vintage, pigeonholing them while ingenues get rom-coms. "We're not punchlines, we're professionals bleeding for the craft," he thunders, veins bulging in his neck. Lorraine, cornered, fires back, "It's affection. Cena Britain loves you for it. But love's a funny word when it chains you." The clash escalates as Sean citing stats. Only 12% of his 100-plus roles survive the credits. Lorraine countering with fan polls, 78% adore the drama. Crew freezes, audience gasps. Sean's exit isn't a tantrum but a statement. He pauses at the door, turns, and says, "Thanks for the tea, love. Next time, let's talk about living." Door slams, hearts race. Post-show, Lorraine's in damage control, texting Sean apologies via publicist, while he holds up, tweeting cryptically, "Some graves you dig yourself, others, they shovel for you." #actor's life. The press feast. Mail Online screams bin storm. The Sun splashes dead serious row. Pundits pile in awesome hail Sean as anti-typecast crusader. Others tut Lorraine's insensitivity, but whispers from set reveal more. Sean's nursing a real grief. His mum Rita's recent passing after a long illness, making mortality jabs raw. Lorraine, too, carries ghosts of her dad's Alzheimer's battle, fueling her empathy empire. This wasn't random, it was reckoning. Two warriors' egos clashing like broadswords at dawn. As clips go viral, 10 million views by noon. The duo's legacies hang in balance. Will it heal or harden? Sponsors hover, agents scheme rematch specials. Yet in the quiet hours, Sean sips whiskey in his suite, replaying the tape, wondering if vulnerability was victory. Lorraine, in her dressing room, dabs tears, vowing deeper prep. Their story, a tapestry of triumphs and thorns, reminding us celebs bleed ink. And as the dust settles, one truth endures. In TV's Coliseum, no one's immortal, and not even the queen or the king of the kill. Diving deeper into the heart of the storm, let's dissect that fateful exchange frame by excruciating frame, because in the annals of live TV blunders, this one unfolds like a masterclass in miscommunication, a ballet of blunders where every step leads to the edge. The clock strikes 9:47 a.m. Post-ad break. The studio's a cocoon of controlled chaos. Lights humming, prompter scrolling, audience primed with free biscuits. Lorraine, resplendent in a teal shift dress that hugs her post-menopausal poise, leans in with that conspiratorial grin, her earrings catching the glare like tiny beacons. Sean, back with us after that riveting trailer. Tell me, with all these spies and secrets and shadows, are you finally playing a character who makes it to the end credits? It's a bridge from promo to personal, smooth as silk, and Sean nods, launching into a monologue on the role's nuance. This one's a survivor, scarred but standing a bit like myself after 4 decades in the fray. Accolades flow, the vibes velvet. But at 9:50, with ratings radar beeping green, Lorraine pivots to peril. She cues the Graphica montage of Sean's slayings, Ned's blade kiss, Baramir's arrow quilt, Sharp's fevered fade. Look at this hall of fame, Sean. You're the Houdini of the hereafter. How do you top yourself? Laughter laps the room, but Sean's posture shifts, his shoulders square, fingers drumming the armrest like Morse code for unease. He parries politely, "It's a badge of honor. Inawaya means directors trust me with the big moments." Lorraine, scenting spice, escalates, "Honor? It's comedy gold. Remember that fan petition to keep you alive got over 1 million signatures." The crowd whoops, but Sean's eyes cloud at that petition, he knows, was born of pity, not power. Petitions are kind, Lorraine, but they don't change scripts or careers. Pause. The air thickens, prompter blinks ignored. Lorraine, sensing skid, swerves. "Oh, but you're timeless. Fans adore the drama." Sean inhales, the welder's sun surfacing. "Timeless?" Try typecast. "I've auditioned for lovers, leaders, laughs always the same." Great read, but can you die nobly? It's not drama, it's dismissal. The words land like lead, audience murmurs ripple. Lorraine flushes, her anchor instincts kicking. "Sean, that's the industrial we all get boxes." Mine's cheery chat, yours is epic exit. Defensive, but dagger sharp. Sean leans forward, voice dropping to that gravelly growl, Boxes, yours opens to applause, mine to coffins. Try 25 years of eulogies instead of encores. Gasps punctuate a woman in row 3 clutches her pearls.